Good day. Good friends and neighbors near and far. And welcome to another completely ridiculous and certainly under-caffeinated episode of Long Tracks and Tall Tales. I,
I'm
as always
fascinated.
and as usual, am your host, Scott G. Davis for Myth of Logic. And with me today is my very excited and very giddy friend, Mr. Christopher Clark, also of Myth of Logic and famed Rush fanatic.
Yes.
And we are here today in basking and bathing and simmering and basting in the afterglow juices of the opening night show of the Rush 50 something tour, which happened last night at the Kia Forum in Los
Amazing.
Angeles. And the internet is abuzz, as probably could have been and probably was predicted by most people in the know, meaning anyone but us.
Right.
And
The entire world minus you and me.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. So we thought we would do this special episode to sort of touch on it and discuss our feelings and possibly dress down some internet jagoffs.
Internet idiocy as it relates to Rush, the current version.
Yeah. Well, give us your thoughts, Chris. I mean, it's
where to start? Okay. I was watching a stream of last night that was not supposed to be the actual show. It was supposed to be, we aren't going to be able to give you the show, but we're going to be able to go through and give you the set list, which I'm not going to spoil all of the set list unless we choose to do selective spoiling. And,
yeah,
a song here and there we can talk about without talking about the full list. Nonetheless, the stream was supposed to be, okay, we're going to be live tuning in and somebody's going to be giving us the set list. And so we'll be telling you, well, I guess one of their people who was sitting off to at Getty's side, really good seat, was able to hit stream and nobody was stopping him, and the stream was working, and it ended up streaming with a couple of buffers. You're going to get buffers, but it ended up streaming the entire thing. So I sat there for 3 hours last night in absolute heaven watching the entire thing. I am blown away with I'm pleased with how Getty sounded. I wasn't in the venue, so I don't know exactly how he sounded in the venue. He sounded like he sounded pretty good on the stream. Their stage design was just phenomenal, and their lighting was just ridiculously cool.
Howard's the man.
Yeah, he is. And
Howard is the man.
Deliver an A+ on that.
Yep.
From what I can even tell, not even being there, I was just like, good Lord, look at all of this that's going on around them and behind them and to the side of them and above them. And I openly wept when was openly weeping when they gave Neil his tributes. One in particular.
I haven't gotten there yet.
One in particular really hit me. In fact, my daughter walked in right, and I was sitting right there, and she goes, "Oh, Dad," and put her hand on my shoulder because I had tears streaming down my face, as I knew I would, and I will on June 30th when I'm there. I'm going to start crying, thinking about it right now because I miss him so much, and he was my hero, as everybody can tell and everybody knows.
Right.
But they did them very well, and they were and I have to give an A++++++, and a 11 out of 10 to Annika Niles. That woman knows what she's doing. She knows the parts, but she's not imitating and cloning Neil.
I'm falling in love with her. I am absolutely, as we speak, I am falling in love with that woman because she pays such respect to the material, but she's giving it her own flavor. I couldn't agree more, man.
She played Rush, played it extremely well, did the most essential parts that need to be Neil, did them. And then other than that, made the songs in her style with reverence, as you said, to what Neil had written. And it was absolutely perfect. She nailed it in that respect. And I say nailed it. And I said this on my post on Facebook, but I'm going to say it now because I have this platform. Because last night in the chat, there were not many of them, but there were those. Oh, she missed that essential fill. Oh, she didn't play that the way Neil played it. And I just like, guys, that was never what she was supposed to do. That was never what she was meant to do and was going to do. And Neil wouldn't have wanted that, and Getty and Alex didn't want that. I've watched great drummers who could absolutely imitate note for note Neil. They're out there everywhere. Mm-hmm. If they had really wanted that, they could have found a plethora of drummers who could just be a Neil clone. That is exactly what they wanted to avoid. Because then those people who are like, oh, they missed this, or oh, she missed that, they'd just be complaining, well, these people aren't playing as smoothly as Neil. There will always be somebody who will gripe about something, which is what you were talking about when you were talking about the internet jagoffs. They have to just sit there and badmouth something. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you're badmouthing what Annika did last night, then you're just wrong. You're just wrong, and you're being contrary just to be contrary, because she killed it up on that stage. Killed it.
I agree. I would invite anyone who disagrees with that opinion to just tune out. You don't have to watch. If it tortures you that much to listen to someone else play Neil's parts in Neil's band, then you really do not have to consume that material. As I said earlier, I am, all deference to my wife, I'm just falling in love with her in this band because she has embraced it. Last night could have been, for a lesser person and a lesser musician, a fall on your face moment, and it wasn't. She seized the moment. First of all, they open with Xanadu.
Which we said we're going to do selective spoiling. We're not going to spoil the whole set list, but I'm with you there.
In and of itself,
that was just astounding.
That is like classic Genesis opening with Supper's Ready. That's a mission statement. It's like, okay, you thought we were screwing around? We're serious. We mean business. We're coming out with Xanadu. I'm disappointed that they left out the original ending, but it doesn't temper that. There was a moment early on in that song where Annika was doing one of those fills, one of those Neil kind of fills, and nailing it. She was really doing well. And she flubbed a stick in the middle of it and didn't miss a beat.
Not a beat.
She did not miss it at all. And then she came out of it and she looked over at Getty and they had a moment. She was laughing. And I love that because it just, the only thing that, if you are a Rush fan, and by a Rush fan, I mean, we Rush fans, we don't just love the music. We love the men. They are our heroes. They are our role models, and we have great affection for them. The only takeaway that any true Rush fan should take away from this is that Getty and Alex were having the time of their lives. They were thoroughly enjoying every moment of this, Getty in particular, from what I've seen. I've only watched the first, handfuls of songs in the first set. And I haven't watched the entire thing as you did yet. But it's just, that's the thing that needs to be taken away, is these guys have worked so hard to this moment. We forget how hard they've worked to this moment. Years worth of prep has gone into last night. And to see them actually have some moments where they were just soaking it all in, it was very life affirming. It really, really was. And I loved everything Annika did. She changed some things, and I think actually for the better. In Subdivisions, there's another spoiler, sorry. Early on in the first set, they play Subdivisions. There you go. And the bits after the refrain where Getty's playing the mini-moog parts, she changed up the actual drum part a little bit, and it's got a little more swing to it. It's a little less cut time and a little more half time. Yeah, it's got a little. And I like, when I first heard it, I went, "Oh, that's kind of different." I like. See, there's moments like that, and those are the moments, dear friends, that Mr. Peart himself, looking down on us all from wherever it is that he's gone on to, from wherever he was promoted to, he is looking down and he is smiling, and he is so proud of those four people, all four of them on that stage. You know he is. He would love this.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't know Neil personally. I just know about him through his books and his work, and that's not knowing a person. But I have a strong suspicion, knowing what little I do about the man, that he would be very pleased. He
Well, and
would be very pleased.
I'll actually think that, because of his books, those of us who didn't know him personally, we do know him pretty well. If you read his books, he was he was very introverted and did not like the limelight and the spotlight. But that was not to say he was not very verbose and very outgoing in telling you who he was and what he thinks and the way he lives. He just did it through a different medium than
Hmm.
meeting people. And his medium was his books. And so if you really want to know the man as well as you can know him now, those books are how to do it. And I agree with you 110%. The man that I know through those books would just be absolutely overjoyed for Alex and Getty and happy with Annika and giving her a hug. And I go so far as to say, I think that even if Neil was here on Earth still and didn't want to do it, he would have given them the
Well,
blessing.
we've discussed that before. Exactly right. Imagine a scenario where Neil, in one of his exceptionally fine cars that he owned, imagine he has a very bad wreck and he loses the use of his legs, for instance.
Mhm,
He's here, he's alive, but he can't play.
mhm.
I think he would have been the biggest cheerleader. I think he would have been involved with this thing. I think he would have been so pleased with the selection of Annika.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
I just, and it's in my, that opinion was my initial opinion, and it's been further reinforced by the Juno appearance,
Mhm.
by the build up to the tour, by the what I've seen from the opening night already, and enjoyed very much. It's just it's very, it's great to see those two guys
Well,
having a
without
good time.
spoiling the actual set list for you, and I know you're still plowing through the show, if you're liking what you're hearing so far, put your seatbelt on for set two and the
I've
encore.
seen the set list. I know what they play. A few little surprises, and their announced intention is to actually rotate things in and
Yeah,
out.
and in fact, I have a picture of the actual set list, and the that like somebody took that's on the stage, and it's called set list Alpha A. So obviously there are a variance of set lists that they're going to be popping through, and they said they were going to do this. This is not a secret.
Well,
They had said,
Getty, in the interviews that I saw with him, he mentioned that they had worked up 38 tunes to rotate. The
yeah,
set list last night had 24,
right.
so that's quite a wide
That's
variance
14
of.
more to choose from and pop in spots. That's 14 more songs that they can add in, subtract in one night. And so it's really going to be interesting, and this is really going to be cool because I'm going to be trying to follow them every night that they play, just to see what are the differences, where do they, which ones do we think they're going to keep in. Those are going to be nightly, but these we're going to pop in here. Or are they going to do that? Are they going to be like, let's just change it up completely, and one night they play an almost entirely different set than they played the night before? I mean, it's so cool. It's so cool to how they're doing this. And it leaves it way open to know, like, which one am I going to get when I go see them? What am I going to get? What am I going to see from them? I'm very excited to see it. I was very excited now, going anyway. I'm going June 30th in Fort Worth. I am now. It's like, I don't like wishing away time. It's one of my biggest things.
Apoplectic.
Yeah, I'm one of my biggest pet peeves is people who, oh, I wish winter would get here. No, don't wish away time. Well, I'm sorry, I'm wishing away June. I want to get to June 30th so I can
Well,
go
as
see
we
them.
speak today, it's already Monday, June the 8th. It's going to be here before you know it.
Yeah, it will. It'll
I
come
will
quick.
say this in terms of the set list. Uh, I know what an EDS 1275, and for those of you who don't know, that is the model number of Alex's double neck. I know what those things weigh. And on a man of his age, that's a heavy guitar. But I sincerely hope they never cast off Xanadu as the opener, because that was just stunning. And I saw it first from the side, And then this morning I saw it with the video screen from the front,
And the
and
video
it's
screen
just
does it a world of justice.
it's a stunning visual. It's
Yes, it is.
absolutely stunning.
Yep.
And I sincerely hope they continue with that. One of the things I did notice, and the audio quality was hit and miss with a lot of these clips, obviously. Uh, on another show that Alex and Getty both did in the last month or so, Alex was talking about the development of the rig he's currently using, and how it was very much simplified, and how he and his technician, whose name is escaping me right now, I know who it is. I apologize, I can't remember what his name is. They have actually gone through and gone back to master tapes of his original guitar sounds, and as closely as possible have matched all of those sounds. And I could definitely tell that they were in previous tours. He would play all the songs with sort of, his current version of his sound, whatever that might be.
Right.
And the songs I've heard so far, the guitar sound exactly like those records, or a very, very reasonable approximation, which I'm enjoying a lot.
Let's talk a second just about how they sounded, and I'm not talking about the vocally. Vocally, I'll just briefly mention it. I've seen people arguing both ways. I thought he sounded just fine. Was it perfect? No. Is he the Getty of the 70s and the 80s? No, he's not. He's 70 something years old, and he doesn't have that voice. He sounds, in my opinion, markedly better than he did on R40.
I think any little let's call them deficiencies, maybe, or little warts, let's call them. I think a lot of it sounded to me like just nerves.
Yeah, it's the first night.
It's the first night. I think once they strike a rhythm, and I don't think at any point during the tour he's doing 2 shows in a row. I think
they're not, and they're doing
not.
That on purpose. That's exactly right.
I think that all these things are going to. Personally, look. There's a similar thing with Greg Lake. As Greg Lake got older, his top range started to go away, and he started to manipulate and utilize his much lower, deeper voice. And I really like the later Greg voice a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't prefer it, because the classics are the classics. But I really liked where his voice went in later years. Getty is finding new ways. He changed the melodies somewhat in the refrains of, let's spoil another one, Limelight.
They're spoilers, but I don't think they're really spoilers. I think
the set list is out there if you want to find it.
Yeah, not something they're like, oh my god, I can't believe they played that, and now you've spoiled it for me. These are all ones that I think people are pretty much, okay, that's not really a spoiler. I get that they would play that.
I was noticing him toying around with the refrains to Limelight. He altered his melodies a little bit, and I liked what he did. I liked where he went. There was clearly intent there that had been thought about beforehand. And so I'm okay with it. Look, we're to the point now where fandom of the band really doesn't play into it. We're at the point in our lives with these guys where we just want them to have a good time and enjoy what they have left.
They're there. Enjoy that they're there.
Why can't everyone just say, God, they're out there, they're playing.
That's why last night when I wrote my thing, my Facebook post, I ended with, we didn't know we needed you, or we missed you as much as we did. Glad to see you again, because he always, one of the last things he'd said at the Kia forum in R40 was, we do hope we'll see you again sometime soon. Mm-hmm. And here we are. I'm so happy to see you again. I be happy that they're there, that they're doing this. This so easily could not have happened again. And the fact that it is happening, we're sitting here on Monday morning talking about last night's Rush show. Mm-hmm. I have never believed we would be doing that again, ever. And so we talked vocally. How about musically? And I've already talked about Annika. Getty and Alex and Lauren Gold just nailed what they were playing last night. They sounded.
I heard Alex fumble a little bit,
but I mean,
just here and there. But like I said, the little inaccuracies that he, at the beginning of Xanadu, where it's repeating that ostinato part over and over for a lengthy period of time. Towards the end of it, you could hear him, kind of miss it a little bit. But to me, that's opening night jitters. Those are things that work themselves out as they get more and more shows under their feet, because Alex is not really the type of player to make hideous clams most of the time. And look, here's the other thing. There's going to be a train wreck at some point.
Well, of
There's going to
course.
be. There's going to
They're
be.
playing live with all that technology and all the stuff they're using. They're yeah, that's going to happen.
I'm
Hell,
sure.
I saw Rush with Neil train wreck
Oh yeah.
badly,
Oh yeah.
badly in El Paso on the Test for Echo tour. They train wrecked Virtuality so bad they basically had to kind of stop and kind of readjust where they were going. It was very, very noticeably a train wreck, and you're like, oh, it was actually really cool for me. I'd never seen him train wreck anything before, and it really made me go, well, golly, these guys are capable of being human, just like just like any of us. They screwed it. I mean, they screwed it up.
When I saw
Neil
them,
went one way, the other guys went the other way, and it was not happening.
I've never heard them completely train wreck as an entire band, but I have heard on the Signals tour when Geddy was still really getting all those keyboards under his hands into his head. He clammed on the second on Subdivisions, the second Moog solo. He hit a really bad note, and he kind of grimaced when he did it. But again, these are human beings, and all we sort of take it for granted because through most of their careers, these two men have performed at absolute physical optimum peak as musicians.
Right.
And I just want them to have fun. I want them to enjoy themselves.
Well,
I want them to
accomplished
enjoy
on that.
themselves and each other.
They
And
had a great time last night. You could tell.
I'm so pleased for Annika. She can hold her head up. Like I said, I have not viewed the entire show yet, but what I've seen so far, I really appreciate what she's doing. I really do appreciate that. Look, she's giving us all an opportunity to hear this stuff live again. That's a gift.
So
and that needs,
Lauren Gold.
there's a, before I forget, there's a King Crimson album title, and it might be an expression that came before they used it. And it's called Happy with What You Have to Be Happy With. I love that sentiment. I adore that sentiment. Folks, this is what we have to be happy with. Please choose happiness. Please choose the light over the dark. Do not give in to the nitpicky internet chatter about whether she's Neil or not. Guess what? Newsflash, she's not.
And she's not trying to be.
And that, my friend, is a good thing. It is. It's a good thing because she's in just the handful of songs that I've viewed so far. She's asserting herself. She is not. She is paying respect to the meat. Okay, but she's sprinkling her own seasoning over it, and that should be entirely expected. And I'm sure that's what Geddy and Alex expected when they hired her.
Hers just gets better as the night goes. I'm just going to tell you that.
Okay, here we go. All right, now
you're in for a real treat
on this channel, and you can confirm this for me. On this channel, we are one of the first people who discussed this when the announcement was made. Would there be a drum solo?
There was not.
There was not. And I think that was probably, in retrospect, the right choice.
It is.
She was under enough pressure. I mean, there was enough for her to do without trying to.
What you just said is perfect. She has an immense amount of need to service the parts not in her style, but with reverence to what Neil did. I can tell you from being the person who plays those, that is difficult enough to do, especially on a tour with packed arenas without you having to worry about your own personal drum solo on top of it.
Yeah.
She has to nail the essentials of some of the best, most well-written drum parts in the history of rock from one of the best technical drummers ever. And she has to do that well and still make it. I can want to give it my stamp as Annika, but do it for Neil and for Rush and for Rush fans in a way that honors Neil. That's extraordinarily difficult to do. So yes, I think I remember us talking about it, and I said I don't think she will do one, and I don't really think she should.
And I remember agreeing with you.
And it ended up being that's exactly the right way to be.
Well, there's I just, like I said, I think, and I'd be willing to bet that she was the one that made the decision.
Probably.
She was the one that probably said, "Look, they probably asked her." It wouldn't surprise me if Getty and Alex went to her and said, "Hey, do you want to do a drum solo?"
Mhm.
And it wouldn't surprise me if she said, "Look, I have got more than enough on my plate. It doesn't seem appropriate for whatever reason. In future tours, maybe she'll
Maybe.
drag one out." She's certainly, I've heard her drum solo work. There is no question she is capable of producing a solo piece
Oh,
to
absolutely.
rival anything that Neil did, honestly, because
Absolutely.
she's that capable.
Yeah.
I just feel like, again, I feel like Getty and Alex are not just enjoying the experience of playing with her. It's clear they're enjoying her. They're mugging with her, and
Oh, yeah.
they're having a great time up there, and that's so. Uh, it makes my heart happy, to borrow a phrase from a good friend of mine.
Right. Well, and then we do need to give a shout out to the unsung hero of last night, and that is his name is Lauren Gold. The
Yep,
that guy, I don't even know where he was. He
he was
was kind
behind
of in the
Getty. Yeah.
yeah, he was in the background. He was not part of his masterful work just allowed Getty a range of freedom that Getty's never had before. He's
Yep.
always been slave to that technology.
Hmm.
And Lauren Gold being there and performing so masterfully gave Getty a range of ability to run around and have fun in a way he's never really done before. And yes, Getty plays some of the more, like, obviously, and I'm not spoiling anything because everybody knows they're going to play Tom Sawyer. They do. And so when they do, there's Getty playing the parts because he was going to play those
Yeah.
parts,
Hmm.
but almost everything else that's more of a background or a solid base for the music that Lauren does, he did it perfect. And
Hmm.
it was just he made it better. And you didn't he wasn't overbearing, and it's like, oh, look, they clearly, I mean, if you really hadn't known that he was a fourth member, you wouldn't have really known they had a fourth member. You really wouldn't have.
Well, and
And
the obvious take is that it frees up Getty, but it frees up Alex as well. Alex was doing an awful lot of those, of
pedaling.
triggering samples and the pedals and everything. It frees them both up to concentrate on their main instruments.
Yeah.
And this is the right time. The keyboard player, this was the right time to do it.
Sure.
All of those times they sort of suggested it or flirted with it in previous years and previous tours. That was never the right time,
Right.
and they
Well,
always persevered. This is the right time, and I agree with you completely. Lauren is a fantastic keyboard player with a sterling pedigree. He's a fantastic player. He's played with Chicago. He's played with a bunch of other acts, and yeah, I agree completely because of what you're talking about. It's really it's. I think it's contributing to the relaxation of those two guys, knowing
and
that.
and just their fun, like you said, you want them to have fun. One of the ways to let them have fun is to have them not be so worried about the technological aspects of it. you
Yeah.
know get and I especially Getty, and you mentioned it, at Signals. In that tour, he was having to get all of the keyboards in his head and under his brain and on his fingers because there was so much technology there that he was having to worry about. He
Yep.
doesn't have to worry about a lot of that now. He just goes out there and plays from his heart, and he plays the bass. And yes, he does some keyboard work, but not near as much. Alex, like you said, is just wailing on the guitar and doesn't have to worry about triggers, and they've got a capable person to do that now. And you also said, and I agree 1,000%, this was the time. You already had, when you were the Holy Triumvirate and you were the same three people that you were forever, you didn't want to add a fourth member. Well, Neil has passed on, so you're already having to add Annika into the mix. Why not add somebody to help you with that load now? It's the absolutely perfect time to do it.
Here's a
So,
Lauren thing that I heard in Xanadu, and I wasn't sure who was doing it right off. That little melody that Getty plays, that da 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 da
mhm.
da. There's that glockenspiel that goes along with it, and Lauren was playing the glockenspiel part and absolutely nailing what these little flourishes that Neil used to do. The little he'd do all of these little fancy bits. He didn't
Oh, I
do it
know.
on the record, but he would do them live later. And then at the end of it, Annika hits the sample for
For
the
for
tubular bell, like
the tubular bell.
gong,
Yeah.
yeah, the tubular bell. So uh, I'm over the moon. I'm really very excited. I
Oh my,
still am likely not to go unless someone gives us tickets because
they're
it's
just there.
just
And there is your bad con, and we always knew it was going to be a con. Yes, it's still ridiculously expensive to go see him, and it's going to be ridiculously expensive. And now it's probably going to be even more ridiculously
but you
expensive
know what?
because
Life is short. Buy the tickets, you
if you
know.
can, yeah, if you can afford it, sure, yeah.
The number one, really, we can't afford it. I have a Myth of Logic record coming up, and it's going to cost twice what the last one cost because there's more violin on it, and that costs money.
Yeah.
And there's more guests on it, and there's a drummer who's got to be fed. So, uh,
Really, there is.
yeah. So we got. But that's a subject for another day. This is going to be kind of a special edition episode of Long Tracks and Tall Tales that we're going to probably spit out
Pretty quick here.
probably later today, honestly, just to take advantage of the algorithm sorcery.
That is sorcerizing all over Rush right now. All over Rush. Which
Yeah.
they should. It should. It's why I get it.
Hopefully, we can pick up a few subs and arrive to our goal of making Myth of Logic pay for itself. That would be
That would
awesome.
certainly be nice, wouldn't it?
So yeah,
Then
we're all sort of simmering in the afterglow and basking and basting in the juices of the first show,
Yeah.
and it's all very exciting. And if for some strange reason the guys in the band or anyone associated with them is watching, we're so proud of you all. It's a very wonderful time to be a Rush fan, and hopefully I get to go. But if I don't, I have the Blu-ray to look forward to, and
yeah, that's another thing. Last night while I was watching this, I was like, I can't imagine that there's not going to be a Blu-ray release of this.
Well, when you sell out 4 nights at the basketball arena in Los Angeles, you would be absolutely silly not to do a home video. But they have been kind of like clockwork for many decades.
Yeah,
now.
they have.
So yeah. I can reasonably expect that if I don't get to go to the show, but we'll see. So anyway, that's. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Chris?
No, I think we've talked about all of it. I'm super excited. I'm super stoked. I want to encourage people, if you can afford it, this is going to be something that you are going to want to see.
I would agree with that.
Saw last night, you're going to want to see it.
I would agree.
They have
with that.
really, really put a lot of heart, love, and effort into coming back and doing it correctly, and they have nailed it, in my opinion. And they're going to continue to night after night. So something that if you really need to get out and support them, if you're able to,
Yeah.
So.
Well, in closing, I want to remind you all that we are Myth of Logic, and we have product available all over the place out there on the internet. Laser CD, the amazing Ken Golden, still has the latest 2 albums, The Memory of After and Light at the End, in stock and ready to ship. Also, our good friends Sven and Rita stock the entire catalog. Your kitty is intruding back there.
Always. Zeus always comes in at the worst, most inopportune time.
Oh, no. He always comes in exactly when he means
castle.
to.
We just live in it. This is his castle.
Yep. Ours too. Sven and Rita over at Bandwagon USA have the entire catalog, and you can get it from them. If you'd like high quality, full bandwidth downloads or autographed copies, you can get those directly from me on Bandcamp. And of course, it's streaming everywhere except Spotify. Fuck Spotify.
Absolutely. A whole nother topic for another time, but let's just say in summation, I agree. I concur.
Yep. Also, don't forget Chris over on his Facebook page posts all kinds of stuff everywhere, including his very wonderful album of the day. So make sure you go find Chris and like and subscribe to that, because it's very helpful, and he will send you down various unrecoverable rabbit holes with his
paths
variety.
From which there is no return once you have begun down them.
So to wrap it up and put a nice bow on it for the day, we are really fantastic today.
We are.
We are.
But especially today.
And dear friends, until we are together again, be good to one another.